Hello. I decided to go video tonight. It's late night. It's like almost 2 o'clock in the morning. But I stopped working and I went to the car wash tonight and washed my car. And took some more deliveries for DoorDash. And then I got some detailing spray. I'll show it to you here. I haven't done the interior yet. So I used ceramic detailer. So I used the ceramic detailer and did my car, and it looked okay, you know. But there were some parts of the paint that just, looked like there was permanent discoloration in the paint. I keep the car in the garage. It's a 2020 Hyundai Tucson, but I got a product a couple of years back, and it was called New Finish Car Polish. This is once a year. I've never used it before, and it was just never really had the energy in my car because I've waxed cars before, and believe me, wax is always a pain in the ass. It's like, ugh. It's just like you keep on having to buff it. It seems like it takes forever to get the haze off, but this stuff, it's not like super easy, but as far as it's the easiest car wax product I've ever used. It says it's not really wax. I don't know what it is. Ceramic polish of some sort, but made my car look like brand new, like showroom press. I had a discoloration right here, and it's just still barely noticeable. No, it's not even, you can't even notice. It took me a little bit of a while, a couple applications to buff that, and finally it came off. So the discoloration on my hood, I could still see just the faintest trace of it. I don't think anything might take it off completely, but it took it off about 90% of that discoloration, swirly looking up pattern there. And I tried everything else. Car detailer didn't work or anything like that. And I haven't got to this side of the car yet. I've almost finished the car. I did the front panel here. It does really nicely on this black trim here. It makes it look nice and shiny, brand new. And I hope I'm doing this in 4K. I might not be doing this video in 4K. I don't really care. It doesn't make that much of a difference. But this side hasn't been done yet. So I have not done these doors. So these doors need to be done. The front quarter panel has been done. I did this back quarter panel. I haven't done this area right here yet in the back. So I'm going to do that next. I did the roof of it. There was discoloration here in the paint. Like the paint was, if you could say if the paint is going to go bad, it's like this plastic part, that's little thing on the back here, is going to be the first part of it going bad. But I was able to get it, pretty decent. I think that there's hardly any discoloration left. There was discoloration there. It looked oxidized. And I got about most of the oxidation off with the new finish. I did it a couple times to get it so it looked like it was new, or almost new at least. It's not a new car. It's 4 years old. It has 100,000 miles, over 100,000 miles on it. And let me look here. Let me see if you can see this here. I'll bring this up closer. If there's any imperfections. There's no scratches on the car really. And I credit that to being a careful driver and always, giving people room to get out of their cars. And plus the car's compact, so it fits in the spaces pretty well, so I don't crowd people. So there's no dents on it. Other than I have a little bitty dent right here in the front where a rock hit the front. It's just a barely noticeable little dent. You can't really tell. But all in all, the car is in excellent shape for how many miles it has, honestly. The interior needs some work as far as I would like to go ahead and get the car shampooed and, freshened up and everything like that so it looks brand new again. I'm really kind of picky that. I like, clean windows. So I use the, I got this, and they're a little expensive at O'Reilly's, I'll tell you that. But I got this, it was $10, Rain-X Ceramic X. And it was a little challenging because at least, it's hard. You have to buff it kind of a little bit, but it's supposed to clean the windows and leave a rain repellent on there. And that's kind of important because even though it doesn't rain much here in the desert in St. George, when it does rain, it makes it like the visibility just sucks, So my next thing to get on the car is silicone windshield wipers I want to get instead of the rubber ones. They're supposed to work better, but the Rain-X rain repellent did a good job on the glass. And I'll probably go over the glass one more time. And also the new finish does not leave a powdery residue or anything like that at all. It just like wipes clean very effortlessly, pretty much. I see a little bit of hazes here. And then in the daytime, I'll go over this car one more time with a nice microfiber cloth to get any little spots I might have missed here in this lighting. But You know, I have to say that it's great. It works on, you don't want to put it on the rubber, I'm pretty sure. You don't want to, if it's a petroleum product, you can tell the smell has this petroleum smell, but I don't think you should put anything petroleum on the rubber of the tires. But you can do your tires with it, your rims, you know. This one hasn't been done. The only rim I did was this one so far. So I haven't done the car's not completely finished, but this rim back here I did with the new finish. And it did a nice job. It took all the dirt off of it. And like I said, I had previously, you know, done the detailer on there after a car wash, so it was clean as it could get, you know. So double clean basically, and then did the new finish wax, and I'm just like blown away with the results. Blown away. So if you want to make your car look really good, I don't know if it'll work really severely oxidized paint, but it'll work with mildly oxidized paint that's 4 years old. This is a 4-year-old car. I got it in May 24th of 2020. And I'm so glad I got this Hyundai. This is the best Hyundai I've ever owned. I've had 3 Hyundais. And I had an Elantra, which was okay. It wasn't the greatest car in the world, but the engine kind of, the head gasket went out at 95,000 miles after it overheated and, it steamed all over the place and broke down. I had to have it towed. My car was out for 3 months. It took them to fix the engine on the car. 3 months under the warranty. Because it wasn't a powertrain issue, which is the 100,000 mile warranty. It had to fall under my other warranty that we paid extra to get, because it was, let me think here. It was, because it was overheated because of the radiator. That's not a powertrain issue. So it had to be covered under the secondary warranty, because it had 95,000 miles on it. And the car took 3 months to fix, and I took the bus for those 3 months. So I was, I'm not a person that's always, had a car at all times, because I didn't have enough money to rent the car and get reimbursed for it, because it covered, car rental, but it was car rental with reimbursement. You had to pay for the rental first. And it was like, I just was poor at the time. I didn't have money for a car rental. So I, just took the bus when my car was down. But they took it, they would work on it in shifts of however many hours a day that it had allotted at the dealership for a repair. And finally one day they called me up and said, your car's ready to get. I'm like, yay, I got my Elantra back. But I got rid of that car at 230,000 miles, and it was running rough. It needed struts and everything like that at 100,000 miles. This car has no problem with struts. No, nothing like that. This is an amazing vehicle. I highly recommend the 2020 Hyundai Tucson. I don't know about other model years of Hyundai and other models. I can't vouch for necessarily, but this 2020 Hyundai Tucson is a gem, an absolute gem. It has a 2.4 liter engine. It's a sport version, and it has a stellar stereo system in it. They make an Ultimate, and then after that, they make a limited version of this, which is a higher trim line, and then the Ultimate, so that's the highest trim line. And each level of the car at this time, when we bought this car, was $5,000 greater. So this is $5,000 more than the SEL cost. The Limited was $5,000 more than the Limited was $5,000 more than the Sport, and it was $5,000 more than that to get the Ultimate. So I was like, the Sport is perfectly good. I wanted a stereo system. I could care less about sunroof, because every car I've ever had that sunroof, the sunroof leaked or stopped working. So it's always something with the sunroof going wrong. So I'm like, no, I don't need a sunroof. I don't even want one. It just breaks usually. So and it gets dirty, and it's a pain in the ass. It's just stuff gets in it. I don't know. They just never seem to work right. I swear, sunroofs never work right. Maybe they've changed. Maybe they've fixed the issue. And I've heard other issues with previous model generations of this particular vehicle. But if you're looking for a used car or something like that, if you buy anything over the SEL or greater trim line, because the SE has a smaller engine, and you're by 2020, you're good as gold as long as it's been maintained. I use synthetic oil in it. Only synthetic. It does call for synthetic blend, but I select synthetic only, and I don't use any other thing but that. Last time I used Mobile One in this car. I used purple one time, and that was good. That was pretty good too. I mean, my car was a lot quieter. I was using semi-synthetic while it was under its free oil changes for what it came with. But once the free oil changes ended, I decided, well, you know what? I want to make sure the car lasts. And I've heard that these previous Hyundais have had Hyundai or engine problems, so I want the best of oil possible to make sure my engine lasts. And this engine's last. This thing sounds quiet it's just quiet. Super quiet. I had a Sonata. The Sonata was an absolute nightmare of a car. It broke down like 5 times in the first 2 years of ownership. 5 times it had to be towed because of breakdowns, and everything was warranty issues, and recall items that broke down. It broke down so much in the first year, I ran out of towing from the Hyundai roadside assistance that they give you free of charge with the purchase of any Hyundai. You get 5 tows per year. I had 5 tows in 1 year. So my first year of ownership. So a car shouldn't, and the starter went out on it. You know, I'm like, how can the starter go out? The car is only like 6 months old and the starter goes out. So it just was terrible. And the stability control system would go out, and the, what else? The engine sounded like hell. It had 100,000 miles on it. It sounded like it was ready for the junkyard, honestly. But then it got stolen, so I can't control that. You know, I'm thankful, honestly, that I got out of that car. You know, it was actually a blessing in disguise, even though, you know, it got stolen. It was a blessing in disguise because the car was turning into a complete lemon. But this car, I was hesitant about buying another Hyundai, but when I got in this car, I was like, this car just feels right. And it was right, and it is right. It's a wonderful vehicle. I love it very much. Best car I've ever owned.